Okay, so once you are logged into your Gmail account, if you're not logged into your Gmail, I'm going to ask you to create, well, if you don't have a Gmail, you would create a Gmail account. And for those of you who already have one, then you can go ahead and log into your Gmail to be able to access Google Forms. So we're going to click on the Google Apps icon here. And once we have done that, we're going to go to the Drive option, Google Drive. Once we have gone to Google Drive, now we have several options available to us here in our left panel, and so we can click on the new button right here, and we have Google Docs, which is equivalent to Microsoft Word. We have Google Sheets, equivalent to that's your spreadsheet version for Microsoft Excel, and of course we have Google Slides, which is equivalent to Microsoft PowerPoint. But if you go to more, you'll find the option that we want, which is Google Forms. In other videos, I'll show you how to use Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and other Google applications. So we can click on Google Forms. All right, so this is going to give us by default, okay, you have the option here to take a tour. We're going to say no thanks at this time, but here you have the option to work with the template that you're given here. We can modify this a little bit, and so let's say we want to create a feedback survey. Okay, this is just a little example. So this is a feedback survey, so we have feedback survey. All right, so this could be maybe a course feedback survey. Okay, and then you can give a brief description. This survey is for feedback purposes to assist in making the course better. There we go. Alright, so here we have a number of different questions you can ask on your survey or your questionnaire. So Google Forms primarily is used for questionnaires and surveys, etc. In another video, I can show you how to use Google Form to actually create quizzes, etc. Alright, so of course we can always change the name of our form, etc., and add a star to it. Afterwards we can look back at that. So let's say we want to ask the question, probably we can use a rating scale, and then we could see different types of questions that we can use. So first of all, you can take some demographics if you want to. So you can probably ask, what is the gender? Well, let's ask it in the form of a question. What is your gender? This may not always be, you know, something that you want to. So you have a number of suggestions here. You can have all of these. So you want to have probably male, female, prefer not to say other, and so on. Okay. If we choose to ask your age, so probably this would be a better question to ask here. Well, some persons may not want to give their age. So what you could have also is probably a range. So you may have something like especially depending on your target group, maybe option 1 could be 16 to 20. Then you may have option 2 being, let's say, 21 to 25. So this is just like if you have demographic information to put in your survey. All right, we can go ahead and add another question here by using the plus sign over on my panel, the right hand panel that we have here to work with. So you can go ahead and add another question. So what is your age? You may probably want to ask something else like what is your major or your major course of study or your program of study. Okay, what is your program of study? right? And if you want to, you could have students just typing in using the short answer option here, or if you want to, you could create what we call a list. So we could change this to a here we go. We could actually create like a multiple choice, okay, where you have a number of different programs that you can choose from. So we can have a number of options here. So maybe the first one could be, let's call it computer science, and then the second option could be what should I call this one? Let's say English or communications. Okay, communications. Here we go. And so on and so on. Let's say medicine here, and you get the main idea. The thing is, you can only choose one option using your multiple choice question, right? Then we have the drop down option as well, which can give you all of these in that list, except that it's going to be a pull down list, so it will look different. So if we go to the preview section here, right at the top you have three options here beside the option for sending your form to your participants. So you have the settings, your preview, and you have customized theme. Let's go to preview, and we can get a chance to see how our feedback survey will look. So in this case, when we ask what is your program of study, with the drop down list, you will actually get a chance to click on that little arrow that drops down there, and it will expand a gallery of options for you. Okay, so of course there's a submit button. Alright, so there are two windows here. One is the one we're working with, and the other one is a preview window. So we can always just go back to this window and we can edit it. So if you see, if we make it multiple choices that we had it before, it just simply converts it. Then if we go back to the survey and just refresh the page, F5, you will now see everything like totally on the page. Okay, if you want it to be explicitly displayed that way, or if you want it to be hidden, then you'd use the drop down option. Okay, so you have those options to work with. I'm just going to make it the drop down option here. Alright, so that's that, and if you want, we can add more. We can add some rating scales. So we can say something like, okay, on a scale of, let's say 1 to 4, 1 to 4, well, probably here what we'll have is something else. We're not going to make that for the question. I'm sorry, one moment. Let's do something here. Coming. Add a section. So we're going to add another section here. Okay. So we're going to add another section, and then I will do the rating scale. So I'm going to take this question that we had for the rating scale, and can just drag this down here in the other section. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here I can say on a scale, I'm not spelling scale right here, on a scale of 1 to 4, which is equal to, well, let's say we want something like 1, so I put the bracket there, 1 is equal to poor, and let's say comma, 4 is equal to excellent. Okay, 4 is equal to excellent. So you can make this, I mean, you could tweak this to your own liking. So on a scale of 1 to 4, please rate the following. And then you could have, as question, the first question, you could have the instructor. So you're going to rate the instructor. How was the instructor for the course? So we're going to make this a rating scale that we had it before, linear scale. Let's see. So we have linear scale. Alright, we're going to work with a linear scale, which we had it before. So we had 1 to 4. there. And do we want to add a label? All right, so we could make 1 poor as we had it there, and 4 is going to be excellent. Okay, so if we go back to our preview, I'm gonna F5. Okay, there we go. I'm not seeing my, okay, it's the next section, so we have to go to next. All right, so if we go to next, we'll be able to see the rating scale that we have there. So on a scale of, we need to add a section header title here. So we have the instructor, rate the instructor. So we have 1 to 4, 4 being excellent and 1 being poor, right? So that is good. If we want to make this a required, and required mean that you must, the participants must answer it. You see the little required slider here? Beside required, we can just slide it over to the right and it now becomes purple. It means this is a required. When we go back to the course feedback preview and refresh, you should now see, if I go to the next section, and this is what the section allows you to do. Instead of having one huge long form to fill out, it will give you in different sections. So you have to go to the next page. So you can do that depending on, you know, what you want to achieve there. So we have a little asterisk being placed beside instructor to tell you that this is a required field. Alright, and you can have one for the instructor. If you want to, you could just duplicate this. So we could use the option to duplicate, which is found bottom of your question. So we can duplicate that, and so what we'll do is just change this to, so we have one for the instructor and we have one for the course. So how do you rate the instructor? How do you rate the course? It's the same scale, and both of them are required. If you want to make the these demographic questions also required, you simply just change the slider here for required over to the right, click on this one, change it to the right, and it will also become required fields. Okay, so you can go back to the course feedback. If you refresh the page, you will see a red asterisk beside all of these, and so all of them will now become required. So we're going to stop here for the section header. I'll just put course rating or evaluation or course evaluation, right? And of course for the form, wonderful, automatically it saves it as course feedback survey, which is the title we have at the top of our section here. So we can choose to send this form. Of course we were previewing it, so we can preview all the different changes. So we can choose to send if we go to the send option here, and what you'll do is just to type the email address of anyone you want to send this to, and it will be sent in their email. So you can, well, you can choose to send it to include a form in their email by checking this option here, and you can customize the message that you want to send here. So you could say, hi, please fill this form for me ASAP. Thanks. There we go. So you can send it to an email of your choice. So there we go. So you can have an email. It could be anything. I'm just trying to make up an email here. Okay, I'm gonna send this to tech at gmail.com. There we go. And you can choose to send that email. Alright, so once you send it, you can also add collaborators here. So once you do that, then it means that others would now be able to collaborate and work with you there. Okay, so you could do that as well. Alright, so we have a number of options that we can work with, and once you finish, click on done, and you are good to go. And once your respondents have responded, you will see all the responses here in the responses section. You can even download the sheet right? You can download the responses and you can delete them if you so desire. You can choose not to accept any more response by changing this slider beside accepting responses, right? And that should do it. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please like it, share it with your friends, and you can feel free to subscribe if you so desire. Alright, so please look out for more videos using Google Forms to create questions and other types of interesting things. Alright, see you next time.